Some stories don't just entertain us, they bring us together. And no story does more than this. This is Chronicles. Hello everyone, I'm Will the DM. I wanted to thank everyone who listens, and instead of doing the usual thing where I ask people to follow the show and reach out, instead keep a lookout for another post that'll be coming quickly after this episode. I'm going to be talking about my viewpoints on D&D and the TTRPG podcasting process and how my experience with Chronicles has really taught me a lot. Once again, thank you, and let's get on with the show. The company of Brandon Kane has one final stop before making their large trek north to Tarksville. That final stop is filled with hope, disappointment, and terrible memories. I guess we'll immediately start with you guys all waking up on the morning of the 12th of fall after your group's 3-day long rest, and you know that your next objective is to go find Walden, the cult leader, in the city north of here of Tarksville, past the Blind Squire Inn. And if this is, I guess, from what I'm getting, is this is probably the group's last chance to do anything in the city. So if anybody wants to get supplies, go to the post office, check anything out.
I have something to do quickly before we go. I would like to try to find Arnold's family.
Okay.
He said that lived by the inn that we're at anyway, right? The prostitution house.
Yes.
I'll go to the barkeep at the inn and ask, do you know of where I might find an Arnold? Do you know Arnold? Or his house.
What? Yeah. I'm looking for a Joe. Do you know a Joe?
Like going to Texas and being like, you know Steve? Yeah, I know Steve.
There's a Steve around here that I know. Do you know him?
I give a quick description of exactly what Arnold will look like that I totally remember.
Yeah, you give a general description. He would give you pretty simple directions. He's like, it's somewhere about 3-4 blocks northeast of this direction, like the specific house, but he knows like the general neighborhood. It's not too far from here.
Okay, thank you. And I'll make my way into that general direction.
By yourself, or is anybody going with you?
Anyone want to? No, everyone else killed him. I'm going by myself.
I feel like Jack killed him.
Okay, but other people didn't stop Jack from killing him. I was the only one who protested his death.
So you're heading out by yourself. I'd like you to do a perception check for me. So you're going to enter into this sort of mucky district where the road is pretty much just mud and some few planked boards. And you are going to see there are carts that are being pulled by people in long black robes, and they are basically loading bodies into this cart. Like people who look like they have starved to death. Like pretty not a fun sight walking through this neighborhood. And eventually you would find probably the least rundown house in the neighborhood. And you would assume that would be Arnold's house, since he was the only one in this neighborhood making any money.
I want to give like an amount of money that makes some sort of difference, but not like totally bankroll me. I don't know.
Yeah.
Would like 40 shills be a sum of money?
That is a sum of money. That could feed... It would feed a significant amount of people for a day.
One day, okay. I knock on the door of the house I'm pursuing.
How's this knock? I want to describe, like, is it like a gentle knock? Is it forceful?
I don't want to scare them. Like, it's not a police knock. It's an assertive, like, I could literally try the key in my pocket if I really wanted to. Okay. It would be definitely like a I'm here tap, but not like aggressive or like muted. In the middle, a nice middle tap.
You are not going to get a response.
Is there like a window?
Yeah, there'd be a little window. It would be covered from the inside.
I try Arnold's key.
It unlocks the door.
Okay, I go inside.
So entering inside this fairly barren house, it looks like if there was furniture, most of it has been sold off. It is basically just a singular giant room, and there looks to be some clothes just sort of scattered around. It looks like either something broke in or people got up and left in a hurry.
Okay. Is it just one room, or are there like multiple rooms?
It's literally just one giant room where the entire family lives.
I don't want to just leave money in the middle of a possibly abandoned house. I wasn't expecting an empty house. Is there any sort of like table or anything that I could like?
Yeah, there's a table and a couple chairs.
Okay.
Essentially, the furniture in the room is basically chairs, table, beds. That's it.
All right, maybe I will leave money in an empty house. I don't know. I will go to the table and I'll take out a piece of parchment, like a scrap, and I'll write, "Sorry for your loss. I think this is yours," and I'll do a little arrow to the key, and then I will put 40 shills in a small pouch on the table.
But is that what you do? You write the note.
Yep.
In a non-threatening way.
Yep.
And put the money on the table.
And I'll go like, "Hope this helps you get by a tiny bit." I know it's not much. That's not ominous at all.
I just forgot.
I'll sign it KP.
Got it. And you get up and leave, presumably?
Yep.
Do you shut the door?
Yeah,
on your way out? Okay.
I can't relock it, but I'll shut it.
So once you get up, you walk out, you shut the door. After 5 or 6 seconds, you maybe like fix a piece of clothing and like look around the street. You're gonna hear a noise from inside the house.
Wait, there was people in there? What is it? Like someone just like came out of hiding, like walking noise, or like an animal noise, or
more like that like skitter across the room where it's like get up and run.
Okay. No, I wouldn't go back. They obviously didn't want to be seen. I left my note. I left the money. It makes me feel better than leaving money in an empty house, thinking that someone is there to receive the note. And I head back to the tavern.
You head back to the tavern, and presumably everybody is either eating breakfast or have eaten breakfast. Is there any place anybody wants to go in the city?
I'll go to the university.
Wait, who's going to the university?
The Templar.
Oh. I get back and I see Jack getting up. Where are you headed?
The university.
Oh, can I come along?
I'll just nod and walk out the door.
Jack and Kat both heading to Harborpool University. You guys just make your way into the upper class district. As I've described it before, as you make your way towards that area, the roads, smooth out. You see people with fancier clothes. Then eventually get to the part of the city where you will see the clock tower and the guarded gate. And I previously described the courtyard as it's like basically a giant garden with statues and fountains, and there's buildings that kind of in a U shape make up the border of the university. And you just see people in there with books in their hands, having conversations, just casually walking around the garden. At the front gate, the last time you guys have been here, there were 4 Templars guarding the front gate. Now there are 7.
And is it just 2 companions or a sergeant guarding the door or the gate?
It's basically a sergeant with 6 companions.
So I'm gonna walk up and I'll just be like, I need access to the university.
Just you?
The one with me too.
One of the companions will just sprint. The companion will open this iron-barred gate into the university courtyard. And once you're in the central part of the courtyard in the garden, there are basically 3 major destinations. They're the administrative offices, the dorm rooms, and the lecture halls.
Okay, I'll look at Kat and be like, anywhere you need to go?
What was your business here?
I'm gonna go visit a certain someone, and then I'm gonna go break off and go to meet that person.
I would recommend for Kat, if she's being stealthy, she can separate. If she's not, I would probably stay with Jack.
I can be moderately stealthy, but I don't want to get in trouble and don't want to lose access. Unless, it's private, I'd rather stick with you so I don't get in trouble, unless you can give me some sort of, passage paper that I could, walk around without you.
I'll just grunt and kind of shrug my shoulder, come with me.
Okay.
Yeah, so for Jack, he would look, most likely the lecture hall.
Yep, so yeah, we'll head to the lecture hall.
So moving over toward the lecture halls, once you actually make over to that part of the campus, it's sort of the building split into different colleges, and most prominent one that Jack would want to go toward is the alchemy building. And when you approach the building, a good portion of the top of the roof has been completely shattered and caved in. And the doors look brand new, and there are bleached white pane windows. And so it looks like there's a sense of renovation being done on this building. And if you were to go inside the building, it's just a series of rooms with the odd numbers on the left, even on the right. And there would just be series of lecture halls and smaller rooms for different sorts of alchemy classes. Eventually, Jack, you would get to the room where you had met the professor you're looking for, Bar, and when you look in the room looks completely brand new, beautiful chairs. All of the furniture looks extremely brand new, except the walls haven't been renovated yet, so there's still blemishes of burn marks that sort of stretch around the corners of the room and out toward the hallway. And no one is in this room. So, entering into this room, this is where Jack had fought the demons when he freed the university, and you feel this sense of warmth. Instantly, you start sweating, and you feel like there's some conflicting control over your mind that you felt when the last time you fought here.
Okay.
Something outside of this physical realm is trying to penetrate your mind, and something is stopping that.
I was gonna say, does his face look any different? But you can't see it because he still hasn't taken off the helmet.
I'll continue on into the room. Or, you said it was empty, though?
Yeah, it's completely empty.
Would there be an office building attached to this lecture hall, or is that just somewhere else in the building?
You search around, and when you go to find Far's office, it is locked.
I'll knock.
You wouldn't get a response.
Is there a name placard?
There is.
Okay. That name is familiar to Kat as well. Were you expecting her to be here, Jack?
I'm gonna shrug my shoulders and turn around.
I think she's in Everfell.
I'll stop, look over my shoulder, nod, and continue.
Great. Do I see a Dr. Ekram?
Yes, it would be further down the hallway a little bit, but you would see it.
Okay. I'm gonna go check something real quick, and I go down that way. I'll break off from Jack, but I don't want him going
I'll just wait outside the building or whatever.
Thank you.
You're going to just approach the office door?
Yeah.
Again, assuming Kat knocks.
Yes.
She would get no response.
Do any of these offices look like they have people in it?
A few do. Not many. Many of them look either some of them still have the doors that were caved in, but there's probably, there are 16 offices and only 5 or 6 are filled.
Okay. I go to the closest one that is occupied.
We'll say that you go to, you just go to the closest office. Is there anything we'll say the door is slightly ajar and you can look in and see somebody's in there.
Tap, entering a professor's office hour, the tap, hello,
You would hear someone fix their throat. Come in, and just someone shuffling away papers.
Hi, I saw that Dr. Ekram was out. Is he out on leave or just out in a class?
I would like you to do an insight check. When you say Dr. Ekram's name, you're going to see his face be oh. He immediately looks around is somebody else here? as well. Like he's like if someone were driving fast on the highway looking out for the police. Dr. Ekram left with some of the other students after the Templars freed the city.
Do you happen to know what students left?
I do not have access to the Templar records, but maybe some of the other students that stayed behind might know more since they obviously lived together.
Yeah, okay. How are the dorms situated? Is it by concentration or just...
We're still repairing most of them, so I believe there's only one building currently open. And once you're there, that's basically all the students in one location.
Thank you. And your name?
Lucas.
That's all I'm here for. Thank you. Have a nice day. Bye.
Yeah, he looks a bit uncomfortable as you leave. He's like, oh god. People are asking questions. This is not good. But yeah, you will exit the building and meet back up with Jack.
The person I was looking for is also gone. However, could we stop by the dorms so I can talk to some students here?
I'll nod.
Walk towards the dorm hall. Is it pretty obvious what's the dorms?
Yeah, there's signage everywhere that basically everything basically turns into like gardens and walkways. So you guys would, moving very ambly and relaxed, be able to make it to where the 4 halls are, where all the students live, and then you would see all but one has been boarded up except for Mill Smith Hall, and at the entrance is guarded by 2 Templar knights.
Jack, could you do your pull rank thing and say we need to talk to some students?
I'll nod and walk up.
You will walk up and there are 2 knights guarding the door.
Knight Uther requesting access to these dorms.
Just Knight Uther?
The one with me.
So are you bringing her in for processing?
Okay, I'll say no. No, we have other business. Yeah, we have other business.
They will step aside and let you in.
She's very I'm not here to cause trouble, following very close behind Jack. I don't want to get kicked out. Head down, focused, not even looking at the guards.
Yeah, so as Nervous Cat and Jack walk through this door, immediately one of you is going to recognize a very familiar face on the other side of this door. Jack, a young woman, around 5'3". She has dirty blonde hair and brown eyes, and she wears a fairly tight leather jacket with thin brown straps that kind of go across her bosom, which sort of accentuates her petite figure. And she has a slightly rounded face and very rosy cheeks at this time. And she instantly turns and sort of recognizes, Jack's stature. And you are instantly ambushed, and she jumps into your arms. Very happy to see Jack.
Oh.
And it is Marie.
I'll say hello, Murray.
Jack, what are you doing here? I thought you left for good.
I'm here on a job trying to find some people.
Is this your friend? Hi, I'm Marie. What is your name?
I look at Jack. Kat. Catherine. You can call me Kat.
Kat, awesome. Do you guys want to go talk in my room? Since I assume you're not here to just catch up, Jack, assumingly.
I'll nod.
Quickly trekking your way to Miss Monroe's room, you will immediately be greeted by this warm living room atmosphere. There's a lounging couch that is kind of pushed upon a soft wooden table, and it has a very dead fireplace, so there's no active fire. And she's going to ask the both of you to sit, and would you guys like any tea?
Sure.
No, thank you.
I'll take a cup. Kat's kind of her hands are kind of fidgeting, so having something to hold would be nice.
I'm just mad nervous.
Yeah, so she walks across the room heading toward this circular box, and when she grabs the flakes of tea out of it, and she will turn and cast a small potent fireball at this wooden sort of palisade, and it'll instantly ignite and the room sort of lifts with light, and she will set the tea and serve it within the next few minutes.
Kat kind of marvels at the casual magic that she saw and was it's just so cool.
And so after, we'll say 2-3 minutes, she'll serve herself and Kat some tea. I'm guessing, Jack, you didn't come here to talk about my school, so what were you needing?
I was going to inquire about Mother Vark.
She is on her way to Everfell. She was telling me that you were somewhere nearby. Did you not see her?
Unfortunately, no.
She's on a trip. She said something about finding her sister, that she was lost.
I'll nod at that. Yeah, and then I was gonna kind of shrug over to Kat and be like, she may have questions.
I told you she was going to Everfell. That was right.
Yeah, I know.
I'm looking for a Percy, and if he's still here or has left.
I'll perk up at the sound of Percival.
You catch obviously nothing. You don't catch Jax perking up at all, but she looks very distasted by you mentioning Percival.
I'll lean forward and ask, why are you looking for Percival?
Oh, I hate this.
You came to do the interrogating, and now you're getting
Yeah.
interrogated.
They are someone I'm close with.
Marie will snort. Yeah, and so was I.
Oof. I'll kind of perk up at that statement too, like I had no idea that happened.
Jack, I guess you didn't know that he and Luna left after the battle with Dr. Ekram, and
I only knew about Luna.
well, they didn't even stop to say goodbye.
Then I'll say like, well, I think I know where they are then.
Would they have gone to Count Balin?
Seems only logical. You said you were close with him?
Yes.
He didn't leave much behind except, and she's gonna reach under the table and she's gonna pull out two things. She's gonna pull out a letter and hand it over to Kat.
Okay.
And it has Percival's names on it. It has, Everfell as the post and all that stuff. And she also is going to pull out a clear vial with a dark liquid. And whenever she picks it up and the liquid moves up and down the sides of the glass, it has sort of the consistency of molasses. This, real quick, this was for you, Jax. Mother Var left it for you. It was a potion she was working on. It's called Placebo, and I didn't get a chance to ask much about it, but she left it for you.
I'll nod and take it.
Are you waiting for her to return, or?
No, we were just seeing if she was still in town.
Her form has very much gone from happy to see Jack to very defeated by this conversation.
Yeah.
Can I peek at the letter?
She would ask, is there anything else you guys needed? Any other piece of information?
I'll look at Kat.
Did Percy do, besides leaving, did he do something wrong?
I mean, not wrong. It was more so just the way in which they left.
Can I keep this?
Yeah, you can have it. I have no use for that kind of stuff anymore.
I'm sorry this wasn't as a pleasant conversation as maybe you're hoping. I don't know anything about what Jack did with y'all, or he doesn't talk much, at least not to us yet. Or I guess I haven't asked, but honestly, truly, thank you. I want to go find him and see where they are. And I tuck the letter in my stuff, and I kind of take in Marie, her whole image, and save that, lock that after reading the letter.
I'll get up and kind of gesture you to walk out the door.
I'll walk and if he wants to stay behind and talk for a second, that's fine. I'll meander outside, but not far.
Yeah, I'm gonna hand her a note, give her a hug, and just say, be well.
She'll linger for a second and look like she's gonna say something and then not, and let Jack leave. And the group leaves the university.
I follow close behind whatever Jack's doing.
Yep, if we're done, we're done. Let's roll.
Awesome. We will have the group meet up back at the inn since no one else said they have anything else to do. You want to head north?
Yes.
Awesome. So Tarksville, it is about a day's trip to the Blind Squire Inn, and then it is another day's trip after that to Tarksville.
I say we stop at our free lodging on the way in our journey.
Yeah, I'm down.
So you guys will get ready to leave Harborpool behind. As soon as you get to the gates and you get, out processed by the Templars, you're leaving, it starts to downpour like a monsoon. And so your speed for today will be halved. So it is going to take you 2 days to get to the Blind Squire Inn. And so you guys are just going to spend all day and night trudging through heavy rain and sludge and mud. Eventually, you'll make it about half the way there. So does the group want to push on in the night to get there essentially earlier? Or does everybody want to rest for the day?
I'm okay to keep pushing.
Yeah, I'll stay up with Jack.
Let's keep it moving.
Yeah,
Sure.
no problem.
Hell yeah.
I also have survival as a thing. Does that affect us at all in any way?
I would say Actually, because I had forgot Vendetta's never really left the city yet, so I forgot what his favorite terrain is. So I would say you guys, even with the torrential downpour, you guys could make it there by like 10:30, 11 at night, pushing through, because you have a expert traveler that is about mountains and woods. So Vendetta will lead you on alternate paths through the rain and the sludge to get there on time. And it will be roughly 11 at night when you arrive at the Blind Squire Inn. And once you arrive, it's a little bit different than last time. That this time there are no horses in the stable, and you don't really see much lighting coming from inside the inn. There's like a little speck of like a few lanterns. And the road looks like it has been condensed by like 3/4 of an inch. And you just see massive amounts of footprints and horse hooves through this area.
Oh, yeah. This must be would it be the Templar like pathing? Does that would make sense?
Yeah, that would make sense to Kat, that it would just be the army moving past here. So
I run in out of the rain. This is gross. Rain is gross.
yeah. So you're just like going and bursting through the door.
A little bit.
Yeah. So you kind of burst in through this door, and the barkeep Atfield is sort of just like taken aback at first. Like someone just slammed open his door.
Atfield. Sorry, it's friends. It's just really raining out there. Cat Porter. We met a little while back.
And he's just like he's gonna like look in the direction of your silhouette and just yell like, everybody, can you get in, close the door? And you just see like rain piling on, there's like the back right end of one of the tables. The window was never shut, so there's just like rain slamming into the backside of this inn.
I'll go close that window for him.
For Vendetta, who had never met Atfield, he is a sort of 17-year-old man behind the counter, wears long sleeves and a black apron, and he has this black rag sort of tied around his head that's covering both of his eyes. And within like 12 seconds of meeting him, you can tell he is completely blind, like 100%.
Yo, respect the rag, and I'm gonna reach my hand to like shake his hand.
He will, with like confidence, he will easily find your hand and shake it. Like he's gotten that sense down.
Impressive. Most impressive.
Does he have to pay since he wasn't here to help the cultists? He is a part of us.
He'll sort of like feel around and just like have your group take a seat. I'll try to find some food. And you're gonna look around, and it looks like he was like the Templars cleaned out this place.
Oh, did they at least pay?
Probably not.
Are they obligated? Jack, do you pay for food when you go places?
Not typically.
Oh, that's unfortunate for a business.
But very fortunate for an authoritarian government.
Yeah, true. He will, and you notice, Vendetta, that he has this sort of rope that's wrapped around his waist, and it has little notches in it so that he can judge the distance of how far he's walked. He will carefully, like a slow, like very slow and deliberate taking steps, bring over a platter of rye bread and like roasted chicken feet and 6 large mugs of cold ale.
Thank you for the meal.
Thank you, Outfield.
No problem. I thought you guys would have been here a couple days ago. Andrea's people came through, and they said that you might be on your way.
Oh, you know Andrea.
Her and her husband spend some time here every once in a while.
It seems like you have good company at your inn. Sometimes. I guess the cultists weren't quite good company, but whatever. You know what I mean.
At least they're gone. From what her people told me, the cultists don't seem to be as active in Harborpool anymore, thanks to you guys.
We definitely cleaned house with most of them. We're following it up on those last bits.
Falco, who else rolled high? Vendetta and Zudora are going to see in the corner of the room, there is a small bounty board with sketchings and costs, and you see some of the familiar names like Captain Roland and Andrea Parker. But Zudora, Falco, and Vendetta are going to see another familiar name up on that bounty board, and that is a wanted poster for Falco himself.
I'm gonna pick it up and examine it.
So it is a wanted poster brought in, dead or alive, for 15 tuds, so 15 silver. And it is Falco is wanted for murder in the Crown Lands, so very far away.
I'm gonna fold it up, and then I'm gonna put it in my pocket.
I don't see anything anything out of the ordinary.
It must have been somebody pretty badass if they're pissed about it.
I appreciate the gestures. I believe it's time to be upfront. I'm going to kind of slam my wanted poster on the table so everybody can see it. My name is Falco Leonhardt, and yes, I am wanted for murder. I feel like I should be upfront to all of you, since it seems we'll be sticking out our neck for one another along this journey. I was born in, of course, the Leonhardt family. We were destined to join the military following my father, and my brother followed in his footsteps, so of course I always wanted to follow in their footsteps. Unfortunately, during war, my brother died, and my father was the only one left to survive. This changed him quite a bit, but nonetheless, I still wanted to join our military. I wanted to fight for the same cause my brother died for, and eventually I worked up to the rank of a guardsman when I was about 14. Eventually, I discovered a superior officer. He was a lieutenant, and he was taking advantage of my sister. In that moment, I lost it. I didn't know what to do, so I confronted him. He told me I was powerless, and so I swung my sword and I cut off his arm. He didn't die from this, but eventually he died of disease. I'm saying this all to you now because eventually I do want to be reunited with my family. And if I am to die along this journey, I beg you, please, I'm going to kneel on the ground and bow my head, turn in my bounty, and send all the money to my family. My father is incapable of doing anything, and the rest of my family are women, so they aren't able to fully provide. And so I've been sending money over to them, even though I can't step foot in my homeland.
Did he die of a manly disease, a noble disease like gout, or did he go out like a bitch? How did he go?
You just said like gout. Nice.
The manliest of diseases.
Everyone
You know-
knows the disease of kings.
Only-
Great men.
Only real Chads go out with gout.
I like the new
Gout.
black plague that's going around. Real trendy these days.
I've heard rumors his arm got infected, and so they're pointing the murder at me. No matter the case, I do not regret my actions, and so until then, I will enjoy every bite of a meal because it could be my last. I'm going to sit down and begin eating.
I think it's honorable that you defended your sister. Family is the most important. He was doing was atrocious, so I wouldn't take it too heavy on your heart. And hopefully one day you can go back.
I appreciate that.
So I guess that's where we'll stop.